Now, I'm really curious about this question with you because, you've got the skill set of commercial and residential property. So what I want to know is what if you had your ideal portfolio mix, of commercial property, residential, shares, crypto, whatever you're into, what would be your kind of ideal portfolio mix, Steve?
Yeah, so I'm obviously a property lover, but that's in my wheelhouse. That's where I've read hundreds of books on it, listen to all the podcasts. That's where my skill set is. It's not in those other ones like shares. Obviously, if I was an expert at shares, you can make a lot of money from that. But I obviously love property being the majority one in that kind of asset because it's tangible and it's a finite resource. So yes, you can buy shares that have a certain product at the finite resource, but they're not making any more land. We've all heard this before. So we've literally had wars over land for thousands of years. People want land. So if you can own a big portion of it, you're going to be all right long term. But to answer your question, my probably perfect mix would be have property as a background. So tangible necessity of life asset. The other one would be business, like we mentioned before, running a business and being able to effectively still make money while not being in the business. And then I'm not a huge fan of shares, certain ones, yes, but most of the shares at the moment that do really well don't actually have a product. They're like Spotify's and Amazon's and stuff like that, where overnight could be bought out, switched, changed, new technology, etc. So I'd focus it on the tangible type of shares. And then the other one for me is probably owning a couple other types of businesses. So get I don't know, a dentist or some kind of necessity type businesses and have a mix that way as well. So that way all my eggs aren't in my own business.
Yeah, well, I tend to agree. Shares have a place, if you ask me. They have a place in my portfolio. Something I wish I didn't. But, the one thing I believe in is investing in yourself. How much can you really change Commonwealth Bank's share price by opening a new account? But you can certainly change a property, add value to it. So, yeah, I guess invest in yourself would be one of my mottos.
I was going to say that's one reason I like property as well. Once you bought it, unless you're doing a value add, you're not checking it every day to see it's all right. You'll check it every 6 months to check the value. But I remember I used to be an engineer. Some of the guys there would have $20,000 in shares, and they'd be on it every day looking at the price.
You constantly can access to how much it's moved that day. I'd be up all night. I couldn't sleep sometimes. I'd be waiting. What did the Nasdaq do today? Or sitting there on ComSec, refreshing. What for?
Go educate yourself, and that's probably one of the things I find with shares is property people will educate themselves. I'll listen to thousands of podcasts, read books, read articles. Shares, they're not spending the same amount of hours. They kind of read an article here and there and they kind of do it. Or they trust someone to invest the money for them, which is also known. And I know I'm saying that effectively as a buyer's agent, but my general rule with real estate even is never trust anyone in real estate. Educate yourself, pay for a service. If you want me to go find you a good property because you're time poor or you don't have the education, things like that, that's fine. But you must understand it. Otherwise, you're just trusting someone else with your wealth. Here's a quote for your daughter. No one cares about your financial future as much as yourself.
I love that. That's very true. No one will care about your financial future as much as yourself. Very true, Steve. Taylor, if you're watching this in the future, write that down. It's a very true statement.